artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
It's really dominating discussions, isn't it? Promising to revolutionize, well, pretty much everything.
It is. But it can feel overwhelming, right? So
Yeah,
much noise.
exactly. Hard to know what's real, what's actually happening now.
Yeah.
So for this deep dive, we're trying to cut through that.
Yep.
We want to understand exactly which industries are seeing the biggest changes from AI and, how it's happening.
Sounds good. What sources are we drawing on?
We've looked at articles, places like Spiceworks, Howdy.com. We also checked out some YouTube stuff, Elon Musk's views.
Ah, okay. He always has strong opinions.
He does. And we even went through a detailed script discussing AI and the future of work. So a mix of things.
Got it. And the core reason AI is so disruptive, it comes down to its ability to learn, right?
Yeah, it mimics human thinking in a way,
Yeah.
automating tasks, but with intelligence.
And it gets better over time, machine learning. Plus, the potential to cut costs and predict things others can't.
Right. We're going to touch on some really surprising stuff, I think. Like AI potentially spotting cancer better than humans in some cases.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Or logistic systems that improve themselves. Tasks needing huge amounts of human effort may be being handled by AI.
It's transformative.
So think of this as your fast track. Get up to speed on what really matters with AI's impact without getting lost in the weeds.
Makes sense. Where should we start?
Let's kick off with healthcare. Seems like a sector ripe for this.
Definitely. Healthcare is facing a massive shift. All that data plus life or death decisions.
It's a natural fit for AI, you'd think.
It is, and we're already seeing it. Diagnostics is a key area.
Like the cancer detection you mentioned.
Exactly. AI analyzing medical images, mammograms, for instance, showing real promise in finding issues earlier.
Earlier and more accurately sometimes.
In some studies, yes. There was one in the New England Journal of Medicine. AI improved breast cancer detection by, I think, 20%?
20%, wow.
And it cut down on false positives, too. That's huge. It points towards a different way of doing early diagnosis.
That is a substantial improvement. And it's not just finding diseases right.
Yeah.
It's also about patient care, day to day.
Optimizing patient management. AI systems can monitor patients constantly, analyzing data in real time.
To predict problems before they happen.
Precisely, predicting complications before they become critical. Cleveland Clinic had an AI system, for example.
Okay.
It apparently led to a 23% drop in cardiac arrests outside the ICU by spotting tiny changes hours ahead.
So it's like an early warning system.
Exactly. Life-saving, potentially. Moving care towards being more proactive.
Towards preventative medicine, almost.
Yeah.
And I remember reading something about drug discovery, too, speeding that up.
Oh, absolutely. That's got huge potential. Think about how long it normally takes to bring a drug to market.
Years and years, billions of dollars.
Right. AI is helping compress that. In silica medicine, for example, they used AI to find a potential treatment for a lung disease.
Idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis.
That's the one. They did it in about 18 months.
18 months versus, what, 10, 15 years usually?
Exactly. A massive difference. It suggests treatments could get developed much, much faster in the future.
So AI's hitting diagnosis, care, even creating treatments. What about the people, the doctors, the nurses? Are robots taking over?
The jobs question. It's more complex than that.
Okay.
It's less about outright replacement, more about roles changing, transformation.
How so? Give me an example.
Radiologists. They're not disappearing, but their role might shift, becoming more like AI supervisors.
AI supervisors, what does that mean?
They'd focus on validating what the AI finds, spending more time talking to patients, planning treatment, less time just staring at scans.
So using AI as a tool to enhance what they do.
Exactly. Same for nurses. AI can handle a lot of the admin, the documentation.
Which frees them up.
For more direct patient care, one hospital in California reported something like a 30% increase in time nurses spend at the bedside after bringing in AI for admin tasks.
That sounds positive.
And medical schools are adapting too. Places like Johns Hopkins, Stanford, they're adding AI training to their programs, preparing the next generation.
Makes sense. They need to know how to use these tools. Okay, that's healthcare. What about finance? Another data-heavy field.
Oh, absolutely. Finance is being dramatically reshaped. Banking, insurance, investing, it's across the board.
Because they have so much data to work with.
Exactly. Perfect playground for AI.
Fraud detection must be a big one. Humans can't possibly monitor every single transaction.
Right. Old systems used fixed rules. AI looks for anomalies, new patterns, stuff humans would miss.
Does it work?
Apparently so. JP Morgan Chase said their AI systems stopped something like $5 billion in potential fraud in 1 year.
$5 billion. That's incredible.
It shows the scale AI can operate at to protect systems.
And it's not just stopping bad stuff, right? It's speeding up normal processes too, like getting a mortgage.
Correct. Automated underwriting. AI can assess credit risk way faster using more data points than just a credit score.
Companies like Upstart, Zest AI.
Yeah, they're big names in this. Upstart claims their AI leads to way fewer defaults and approves more loans.
So faster and maybe fairer access to loans.
That's the potential, yeah. More efficiency, possibly more inclusion.
Okay. And investing. That feels like a tailor-made job for AI analyzing markets.
It really does. And it's moved from being a niche thing for quant funds.
Like Renaissance Technologies,
Yeah.
2 Sigma.
Yeah, those guys. Now it's becoming mainstream. Even traditional firms like BlackRock use AI heavily. Their Aladdin system, for example, analyzes global markets.
Finds opportunities, manages risk.
Exactly. It's deeply integrated.
And for regular people, like you and me, robo-advisors use AI, don't they?
They do. Wealthfront, Betterment. They use AI for automated portfolio management. Makes investment advice much cheaper and more accessible.
So lots of changes in finance. What about jobs there? Are the algorithms taking over?
Again, it's nuanced. Some roles are definitely being automated.
Like data entry, basic customer service.
Yeah, that kind of thing. Banks have reduced branch staff over the years,
But new jobs are appearing.
Exactly. New specialized roles. Think AI risk managers, financial data scientists, people who understand both finance and AI.
And making sure the algorithms are fair.
Yes, algorithmic fairness analysts. That's becoming crucial. Even traditional financial advisors aren't disappearing. They're using AI tools to help with portfolio stuff so they can focus more on the client relationship, the complex advice.
So a big shift in the skills needed.
Yep.
Okay. Let's switch gears again. Manufacturing. That sector's got a long history with automation.
It does. But AI is taking it to a whole new level, adding intelligence, connectivity.
Smart factories.
Pretty much. Moving beyond basic robots.
Predictive maintenance sounds like a huge deal there, knowing when a machine might break before it does.
Massive. Old maintenance schedules were often inefficient, either fixing things that weren't broken or dealing with sudden, costly breakdowns.
Right.
AI analyzes sensor data from machines, predicts failures accurately. Siemens used this, cut unplanned downtime by 30% in their turbine plants.
30%. That saves a fortune.
Huge savings. And companies like TSMC, the chip maker, they rely on this heavily to keep production lines running smoothly. Uptime is everything for them.
So keeping things running, is AI also improving the actual products being made? Quality.
Yes, quality control is another big area, AI-powered computer vision.
So cameras watching the production line.
Basically, yeah. But analyzing the images with AI, instead of human spot checking, AI can inspect every single item.
Finding tiny flaws.
Exactly. Flaws humans might miss, and doing it consistently. BMW uses it for car bodies. Another auto parts maker cut customer complaints by 90% after bringing in AI inspection.
90%. And manufacturing is so global now. Supply chains must be incredibly complex. Can AI help there?
Absolutely critical. Supply chains are complex and, as we've seen, fragile.
Yeah, the last few years showed that.
AI can analyze tons of data, shipping info, weather, news to predict disruptions.
And suggest alternatives.
Yes, recommend solutions. Companies like P&G, Toyota, they're investing heavily in AI for supply chain resilience now. P&G's system can apparently see potential problems weeks ahead.
Okay, so manufacturing is getting smarter, more efficient, higher quality. What about the workers? Are factories just emptying out?
It's that skill shift again. Not necessarily fewer jobs overall, but different jobs.
Needing different skills.
Higher level skills, yeah. People who can program, manage, fix the AI and robotic systems. Demand for those roles is growing fast.
Like robotics integration specialists. Industrial IoT analysts.
Those kinds of titles. It's actually attracting younger people into manufacturing too, changing the image of the industry.
But what about the existing workforce?
That's the challenge. Retraining is crucial. Companies like Stanley Black & Decker, Siemens, again, they're putting money into programs to upskill their current workers.
So adaptation is key. Okay, let's talk retail. That touches all of us.
Definitely. And AI is impacting the whole chain, from the warehouse right to your shopping experience.
Inventory seems like a nightmare for retailers. Guessing what people will buy.
It's a classic challenge. Too much stock costs money, too little loses sales. AI is getting much better at predicting demand.
Oh.
Analyzing sales data, sure, but also weather, social media trends, local events, all sorts of things. Walmart uses AI for this. They've cut stockouts and inventory costs significantly.
And for us, the shoppers, The most obvious AI is the recommendations, right?
Yeah, personalization. It's everywhere online now.
Amazon started, it feels like.
They were pioneers. Now everyone does it. AI analyzes your clicks, your purchases, what you look at.
And suggests other stuff you might like.
Exactly. Tailored recommendations, special offers, even dynamic pricing sometimes. Sephora uses AI for virtual makeup try-ons, matching products to your skin tone. They say it boosts conversion rates massively.
Like a personal shopper, but an algorithm? Is this happening in physical stores, too?
It is, yeah. Computer vision is being used more.
Watching how people move around the store.
Kind of. Tracking foot traffic, seeing which displays are popular, analyzing demographics. Target used these insights to redesign store layouts.
And it boosted sales.
Apparently by a few percent, yeah. Optimizing the physical space using data.
So, with all this tech, self-checkouts, maybe even cashierless stores, what happens to retail jobs?
Well, you're right. Traditional cashier roles are declining. That's undeniable.
But like in other sectors, new roles are emerging.
Yes. Roles like experience designers, creating engaging shopping environments, omnichannel specialists, connecting online and offline, customer data analysts.
People who understand the data generated.
Exactly. And even sales assistants. Their role is changing. Less about just ringing things up, more about expert advice, personalized service.
Like in an Apple store.
That's a good comparison. Using AI tools maybe to quickly access product info or customer history to help them give better advice.
So retail is adapting, specializing more. Okay, let's move to, well, movement itself, transportation and logistics.
Yeah, another sector facing huge complexity and cost pressures. AI is finding lots of applications.
Route optimization must be a basic one, getting delivery trucks from A to B efficiently.
Foundational, yeah. But AI takes it way beyond basic maps. It considers everything in real time: traffic, weather, driver hours, truck capacity, delivery windows, constantly recalculating the best routes.
UPS has that Orion system, right?
That's the one. They estimate it saves them something like 100 million miles driven every year.
100 million miles. Huge fuel and time savings.
Massive. And then, of course, there's the big one: autonomous vehicles.
Self-driving cars. Feels like we've been talking about them forever.
It's developing fast, but it's complex. Fully self-driving cars, level 5, working everywhere, anytime. That's still proving tricky.
Right. Seems harder than maybe people thought.
But we're seeing faster progress in more limited areas. Autonomous trucking on highways, for instance.
Just highway driving.
Yeah, companies like Too Simple, Aurora are doing pilots. It's a more controlled environment than complex city streets.
Makes sense. And in really controlled places, like ports or warehouses.
Exactly. Autonomous vehicles are already working effectively there. The Port of Rotterdam uses them, boosted efficiency by like 20%.
Okay, so not robot taxis everywhere tomorrow, but specific uses are happening now. What about the drivers? Especially truck drivers.
That's a huge question. Long-haul trucking is likely to see major disruption eventually.
But maybe not immediately.
Probably a transition. Maybe a hybrid model first. Autonomous trucks handle the long highway stretches.
And human drivers take over for the tricky city parts. The start and end.
Yeah, the transfer hub idea. So, drivers might still be needed, but their role changes. More local, last-mile focused.
And new jobs again.
Absolutely. Autonomous fleet managers, transportation data analysts, and AI tools are also helping existing workers, like warehouse staff or dispatchers, become more efficient. It's collaboration.
So even in a physical industry like transport, it's driving demand for tech and data skills. Okay, let's jump to a field that might seem less obvious for AI legal services.
Yeah, it's fascinating seeing AI make inroads into such a complex knowledge-based profession, relies so much on human judgment.
Document review. That always sounds like drudgery for junior lawyers.
Yeah.
Piles and piles of paper or digital files.
Exactly. Hours and hours spent reading. AI is tackling that now.
Effectively.
Very effectively. Systems can scan millions of documents way faster than humans, finding relevant clauses, identifying risks for litigation or due diligence.
Faster and more accurate.
Often, yeah. McKinsey estimated AI could cut document review time by 80 or 90%.
80 to 90%. So firms are using this.
Widely now. For that initial sift, it frees up the lawyers to do the higher level thinking, the strategy, talking to clients.
That's a massive efficiency gain. What about contracts? Analyzing those.
Yep, another key area. AI can scan contracts, spot unusual clauses, check for missing info, assess risk.
Faster than a lawyer reading it.
Much faster. Logix did a study. Their AI reviewed NDAs more accurately than experienced lawyers, and in minutes versus hours.
Wow. And even generating contracts.
Standard ones, yes. JP Morgan built a system called QIN. It slashed the lawyer time needed to review commercial loan agreements.
So with all this efficiency, what's happening to legal jobs? Are fewer lawyers needed?
It's that shift again. Not necessarily a huge drop overall, but the type of work is changing.
Less need for armies of junior lawyers doing doc review.
Probably, yes. The demand shifts towards lawyers strong in strategic advice, negotiation, courtroom work, things AI can't easily replicate.
And new roles emerging here, too.
Definitely. Legal knowledge engineers, people who train the AI systems, legal data analysts. Plus, AI is enabling new ways to deliver legal services.
Like online services for basic legal help?
Yeah, companies using AI to offer lower-cost assistance directly to consumers. Rocket Lawyer, Donut Pay, those kinds of platforms.
So the legal profession is focusing more on complex human skills, plus these new tech law roles. Okay, one more surprising area, creative industries, media.
This one really challenges assumptions, doesn't it? The idea that creativity is purely human.
Yeah, can AI really be creative? It seems to be generating text images.
It is. Generative AI is getting incredibly sophisticated, producing articles, artwork, even video that can look or sound human-made.
Are news outlets using it?
Some are, for specific things.
Yeah.
The Associated Press has used AI for years to write basic financial earnings reports, frees up journalists for more in-depth stories.
Okay, so generating some content, what about finding content? Recommendations?
Huge application. Platforms like Netflix, Spotify, TikTok, their recommendation engines are entirely AI-driven.
And that's valuable for them.
Massively. Netflix reckons their AI saves them maybe $1 billion a year just by keeping users engaged, reducing churn.
$1 billion. And in making films or TV shows, is AI used there?
Increasingly, yes. Tools to assist scriptwriting, generate visual effects, automate parts of post-production. Warner Bros. Even uses AI to try and predict a movie's box office potential based on the script and market data.
Predicting hits. That's ambitious. So what does this mean for writers, artists, musicians, filmmakers?
It's complex. Some technical roles might get automated, sure, but new roles are popping up.
Like what?
Prompt engineers, people who are experts at telling the AI exactly what kind of creative output to generate.
Guiding the AI.
Yeah, and AI human collaborative artist creatives, using AI as a partner, exploring new possibilities together.
So using AI as a tool, not just being replaced by it.
For many, yes. Directors using AI to visualize scenes differently. Musicians using AI sounds. We'll likely see a mix, some AI-generated content, and continued demand for unique, premium human creativity.
Okay, that's a fascinating tour across so many sectors. Stepping back, what are the common threads you see, the big patterns?
Well, a few things really stand out. One is that AI mostly automates tasks, not entire jobs.
Right, we heard that repeatedly.
It's about augmentation. AI handles the routine, the data-heavy stuff, freeing humans for strategy, creativity, empathy, the things we do best.
And new jobs keep appearing.
Always. Roles focused on managing the AI, developing it, ensuring it's used ethically.
And the need for learning.
Absolutely crucial. Continuous learning, retraining. That's essential for workers and companies to adapt.
So, for listeners maybe feeling a bit worried about all this, what's the key takeaway for them? What should they do?
I'd say, first, don't panic. Try to understand the AI tools emerging in your specific field. Get familiar with them.
See them as tools, not just threats.
Exactly. Second, focus on skills that complement AI. Critical thinking, creativity, communication, emotional intelligence. Things AI struggles with.
Makes sense.
And third, just adopt a mindset of lifelong learning. Things will keep changing, so being adaptable and willing to learn new things is probably the best skill of all.
That's really solid advice. Now, on a bigger picture level, Elon Musk's comments we mentioned, AI is the most disruptive force, potentially leading to no job needed, maybe even universal high income. That's quite a vision.
It's definitely provocative. It forces us to think about the very long-term societal implications.
A future where AI does almost everything.
It's a possibility he raises. Compelling, maybe a bit unsettling, but it pushes the boundaries of the conversation.
So wrapping this up, the main point seems clear. AI isn't science fiction anymore.
Not at all. It's here, now, reshaping industries in very real, specific ways.
Bringing challenges, yes, but also huge opportunities.
Precisely. And understanding these changes is becoming vital for everyone, no matter what you do for a living.
It really does make you think, as you've been listening, what parts of this were most surprising? Or maybe most concerning for you? How could this affect your career, your business?
And that leads to one final thought, building on Musk's point. If AI could eventually handle most work,
Yeah.
how would we need to rethink things like, well, the meaning of work, our purpose, how society is structured?
That's a huge question.
Yeah.
Way beyond today's discussion, but definitely something to mull over.
It is. So we really encourage you to dig deeper into the industries relevant to you. Keep learning about AI as it evolves.
Absolutely. This deep dive is really just scratching the surface of AI's long-term story.